If you don't believe in Sam Darnold yet, it's time to get on the bandwagon because not only is he legit, he's incredible. Minnesota Vikings struggled to beat the Seattle Seahawks at Lumen Field. They had not done so since 2006 when Chester Taylor went off and the Vikings were able to finally get the win. They had beaten them since that 2006 game, but they had not beaten them at Lumen Field where they had played a lot. It was a really impressive win for the Minnesota Vikings. They got the win 27-24, but man, did they have to scratch and claw to get there against a really good Seattle team. One of the big things that the Minnesota Vikings weren't able to do effectively was run the football. Why weren't they able to do it effectively? They just did not call enough running plays. And that's going to be your biggest factor here. The Vikings just did not run the ball enough because when they did, they were very successful in doing so. In the game, the Minnesota ran 24 times for 81 yards. Now, some of that is going to be skewed a little bit by the end of the game where they were only able to get only 4 yards on those final two carries. So essentially 22 for 77. Pretty solid runs. And they were able to get some chunk plays. Aaron Jones had a 14-yard run. It had a couple others that were close to 10. And they just did not try to establish it enough early on. And that could have made a big factor. Why didn't they do it? Sam Darnold. What an impressive performance by this guy. 22-35 for 246, 3 touchdowns. Another passer rating of over 100, 112.3. This dude is incredible. And the fact that the Minnesota Vikings have to choose between him and somebody else, not somebody else being rookie JJ McCarthy, is just crazy. Because it just feels like Sam Darnold should be the guy moving forward. What he's doing this year with Kevin O'Connell is just bonkers. It's insane. And one of the more insane parts about him that really makes me feel like he's legit, it's how he's winning, how he's putting up these numbers, which he's on pace to be the NFC Offensive Player of the Month for the second time this year. Has 11 touchdowns, 1 interception over the course of the month so far. He's just been putting up insane stats. And one of the things that has really set him apart from everybody else, his pocket management. The pocket management from Darnold has been phenomenal so far this year. And it was manifested itself in a major way on Sunday because the Seahawks were able to generate pressure. They only got 3 sacks, but they probably hurried Darnold on nearly half of his 35 attempts. It was crazy how much they were able to get pressure. And some of that's on the offense because the Minnesota Vikings love to use 7 and 9 step drops with play action to be able to get those receivers a lot of time to get open down the field because they love deeper passing concepts. Now they're not always doing goal balls, but it's 15-yard dig routes. Those take time, 20-yard comebacks. Those are the kind of routes that the Minnesota Vikings like to run and do so consistently. In order to make those happen, Darnold needs to create inside of the pocket. And he did a great job of that again on Sunday. Now, they weren't always completing these passes. There were a couple that TJ Hawkinson should have had. Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor each had passes that were knocked out of their hands. That kind of stuff happens. But when it came down to brass tacks, Sam Darnold made the plays necessary to win the football game. And you can just go right to the second touchdown to Justin Jefferson. Darnold senses the pressure from the right side. So you know what he does? He slithers over to the left, climbs the pocket, and fires a missile with pinpoint accuracy because there's that cover 2 safety who's going to be able to get over and make a play on the football. But because he throws it to the outside shoulder, he can't. It's an insane throw. You don't make those kind of throws unless you have balls, unless you know you can put that with proper placement, and Darnold did. This dude is playing at an MVP level, and he's been doing so for a while, and people are not giving him enough credit. Oh, it's Justin Jefferson. Oh, it's Jordan Addison. Oh, Kevin O'Connell is just a god. All those things may be true, but Darnold is doing it in muddy circumstances. He's doing it consistently, and what he is able to do with all those things has elevated this team to 13-2. 13-2. This isn't a lucky 13-2. The Vikings got lucky in 2022. There were a lot of one-score games that they probably shouldn't have won. You point out a single one-score game that the Vikings won this year that they shouldn't have. They earned all those wins. It did not feel fluky. It did not feel fake. Why? Sam freaking Darnold. There's a reason why we've been talking a lot on this channel and in my articles at A to Z Sports about why the Vikings should keep him. He manifested a lot of that today. And Kevin O'Connell even mentioned right before the scramble on that final drive, that the headset absolutely crapped out and Darnold did not hear the play call outside of the formation. So Darnold calls something and it doesn't work. So guess what? He scrambles 9 yards, first down. And Kevin O'Connell talked about how the MVP was really the team that was able to get him a new battery, because he said it was curious that it went out when it did. Darnold is stepping up in a major way, and he's doing so in incredible circumstances. This is an MVP caliber player. This is a guy that's going to be incredibly hard to let go. And you need to start giving him the respect he deserves. This isn't 2021 Sam Darnold. This is a different player. This is a real player. And he's going to make some team very happy. I'm Tyler Forness with A to Z Sports. Skol Vikings.